Why do Brusha and Tisha dislike each other so much? For context, Brusha and Tisha were confirmed by the lead developer Quelver, to have, quote, beef. This was all confirmed on one of her YouTube live streams, and as of right now, we don't really know because, well, Brusha isn't out yet, except we do know because I'm insane and stared at that teaser image for 12 and a half hours. Let's start with the I already mentioned teaser, because frankly, that's all we have. Now, this teaser gives us pretty much everything we know about Brusha, which is a lot, but not all of it, but essentially her whole character. Not really, but yeah. Now, looking at the most important thing here is a picture of both Brusha and Tisha holding hands. Now, once more, Quell, the lead developer of Dandy's World, the person who is kind of in charge of the whole thing here when it comes to the lore, says ships aren't canon, so it wasn't any previous relations. Now, next thought of mine was, okay, what if they're related? After all, both of them, can serve a purpose in cleaning. Brushes are usually intended for art, however, brushes can still be used for cleaning. Jump scared me. Jeez, go away. Gosh, dang. Can you leave? How do you see me through tables? Oh boy. Editing quiz are here. I want to clarify I am playing while reading the script. There we go. Now, they definitely look alike. I wouldn't be surprised if they were related. Their names also line up, and as far as being relatives, that's all we have on them. When it comes to the other relatives in the game, it's not that hard to tell they're related, and it wouldn't be here, except Quell makes it very clear whenever tunes are related, because she knows the shipping scene for this game is insane, and as soon as the character is introduced, they're shipped with everybody they're not related with. And also, apparently one of the Discord mods confirmed that they're not related. However, I still don't have access to the Discord because the silly blocks link thing hasn't verified me yet for some reason. So all I can see is the announcements page. If they're not related and they didn't have any other previous relations, there has to be a reason for them to be fighting. So I did the normal thing of reading all of the dialogue in the game for Tisha and majority of other tunes, and we learned a lot about Tisha from her dialogues. For example, she will ask people to clean very frequently. She'll bring up how hard she is working on cleaning, but she'll never accept help when it is offered. This led me down another rabbit hole to figure out what might cause someone to ask people to help, but not actually want the help. And first off, here's a dialogue from Coco where they both talk about, Coco says she can help with cleaning. Tisha refuses to help, which is odd because she brings up how hardworking she is to essentially everybody else. And it seems like she wants help, but will not accept it. Now, another reason, we'll put a pin in that for a second. Thinks Tisha wouldn't like Brusha is because sometimes making art causes a mess. Brusha, however, seems pretty confined. All of the paint in the teaser image is just on the canvases and not all over the place, which is strange, eggs, because you would expect a messy, a paint mess, and Tisha would get mad at things like that, but we don't see that. We see just some paintings that were done, hanging on a wall in quite a clean area, regarding everything that happens in Garden View at the time of the game playing, but we don't actually see a mess. So this kind of gets rid of the whole idea that maybe Brusha is just not the best with painting, in a confined area, and gets everything all over the place. However, that makes sense. So if it's not because they are related, had previous relations, or because Brusha's making messes, what might it be? And the idea here is that Brusha is a tune that might be willing to help with cleaning. And this is all hypothetical as there's nothing out for Brusha yet, but my idea and thought process here is that Brusha not only helped clean, but after the closure of Garden View, Tisha is cleaning no longer as a hobby or because it's what she likes doing, simply because she wants the validation and recognition other tunes get. let's bring up Tisha's mastery, as it's something you need in order to get Shelly, a toon whose whole entire identity is literally being ignored by the rest of the cast. So that would give them an actual relation and a reason for you needing Tisha's mastery. Tisha doesn't want to be forgotten, so she's doing everything she can to not be. And this is where Brusha comes in. Let's assume that maybe Brusha decided to help out with cleaning, except there was no warning or anything. Brusha just cleaned up once. Now this is where the idea comes in, that this prevented Tisha from getting the recognition she wanted and deserved. This is what caused Tisha to no longer like Brusha, even though they were just good friends. And that may seem like an odd thing. Why would you get in a fight over something as silly as that? After the place you live in closes, aka Garden View, just shuts down, there were probably quite a few relationships that were just ruined, like Dandy's and V's. They really don't like each other now. Well, V doesn't like Dandy. Maybe it doesn't matter. Like, they don't like each other. They are not as good as friends as they used to be, simply because of the state Garden View is in. And having it be with another member of the cast, but not main tunes, is actually a really important part of story building, as well as the world building. So I feel like this not only makes sense, but is incredibly viable and very, very important to happen. And Brusha, just wanting to do something nice, would obviously like not want to be friends with someone who got mad at her for being upset she did something nice. And I have a feeling this is what we're going to see as soon as the update drops. I will be remaking this video with the information we actually have once it comes out in a week, but for now, this is the best we have. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I'm like one of 2 people that talks about Dandy's World lore I find, and don't just read someone else's theory and call it mine. That is something that is sadly true. If you like lore, Dandy's World, or just like entertainment in general, I'm sure I can find a way to provide any of those to you. With all that being said, thank you for watching. Please press the like button. Lots of people like beg for subscribing and stuff. That really doesn't matter. If you could press the like button though, that would help out so much. Alright, goodbye. How do I stop recording?